Now some of y'all are going to claim that right there is a gap. I don't see a gap. Well, here we are on the kind of do a little bit, we'll just weld it up. It's tacked lightly, so I've got to be careful with it so I don't move anything. What you'll notice is I took some of that old exhaust tailpipe that's a size larger, slipped it on right there, took the original piece and slid it into there, and then I have like the other tailpipe up here. So this slip fit into there, and it slip fit into there, right? And then this slipped over there, and this one slipped up into there. So it made it real nice and easy to put together. There's things I don't like about it. I mean, it's ugly. It is a work truck, but this will get me something that'll work. Okay, continuing to work on the exhaust the next day, and starting to get the structure on this together so that'll hold up right there. Give you a little update. So remember how there's a hole there, and some of you are going to be saying I'm patching that up. I ain't patching it up. I'm putting reinforcement plates on it. Ha! But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm going to do on these areas that I don't want to try to weld up right there. I'll just put my reinforcement plates on there. Call it good. I talked to the exhaust shop, and I can get the like the ball flange or whatever flange things on there. I don't know what it'll come up with. I'll go talk to him tomorrow and put that on there. So this piece is separate, so the down pipes are separate from the X pipe. So hopefully I can get that and get this knocked out this weekend, and that's one more system knocked out on the work truck. Exhaust out of the way, then it's fuel system and electrical, and then we can start it up. So I just got done with it. It's all together. I have my reinforcement plates on there. There probably will be a couple little leaks here and there, but I'm not too concerned with it at this point. I want to get some of these welds cleaned up. Actually, there's a little leak that's going to happen there. I want to get this cleaned up and get it in the truck, because the goal is to get the truck started and the engine broke in. I'm going to show you a little bit of a sneak peek. This is what I got at the exhaust shop, is some ball flange sockets right here. He can make these, and then he don't make the flanges, but he buys the flanges. So he made these up for me. So whenever I get ready, I'm going to install those right about in here somewhere. Is where I'm going to put those, and then that gives me my breaking point between the two. But right now, that's not the most immediate goal. Alrighty, well, I mean, that's how I scab my system together, but hey, it's going to work. So this is something I want to point out right here. So you have three major things, and there's a couple different ways to say it. So you have your fit, function, right, and then your form on there. So fit is, does it fit in the vehicle, right? So I got that down. Function, is it going to flow exhaust out and get it away from the engine and get it where I want it to go? Yes. Form, which is your aesthetics part, not there, but as someone famous said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Alright, some of y'all probably wondered what exhaust reinforcement plates are. I'm about to show you how to fabricate some and what their uses are. So I'm putting the exhaust together from a wrecked truck that's Harold, the original Harold 2.0. And since that truck was wrecked, some of these exhaust downpipes got a little mangled. So I'm going through there, and I've cut them and reformed them to where I want it. However, I have some gaps in there, which is a structural integrity thing. So it's not as strong as what it could be. Now, I could come in and go through and weld around, and do that number, which does work okay. But I'm going to use a different technique of actually doing a reinforcement plate that covers this whole thing, and then weld around that. So here's an example of one that I've already done. I've come through and I've box welded that all the way in around the cut area, so that's now nice and strong. Now, how did I get this plate? What I have is some extra exhaust pipe right here. So I come in and I cut a line for the width that I wanted, and then I come through and cut it, set my width where I wanted it right there, and that gives me two halves. I can take that half right there, put it over this area where I want it, go in and mark it for the length I want, tack a couple places in place, and take my hammer, form it in the shape, and then box weld it in, and that'll be nice and strong. Alright, see what I did there? Took my piece and put it on there. I've already did slight forming, so it's roughly where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and tack it in a place there, and probably a place right there. And I'll take my hammer here, my trusty dwarf hammer, and then form it a little bit, and then come in and finish box welding it in. Okay, it's tacked several places, and I've hammered it. You can see how it's kind of formed to the piece. So I'm going to give it one more look over and close any gaps with the hammer on my forming, and then I'm going to go ahead and burn that in, and that'll be a good reinforcement box weld on this exhaust system. Okay, there we are. That's how you do an exhaust system reinforcement plate.